Hey, what's up, everybody? Pat here, great recovering alcoholic and addict, just like every day. Guys, please don't forget to subscribe, leave the video a like, drop me a comment, and by all means share it with somebody who might get something out of it. Other than that, guys, you know the routine by now. Sunday, God's Day. And, I want to talk about church for a second, guys. I talk about this all the time, and I try to be as general as I can because I don't like to box anybody out, and I don't like to speak of organized religion per se. For me, and I say this and I will always say this, the kingdom of heaven is from within. But that being said, I've made it a habit of going to church lately. And again, I don't freak out if I miss a Sunday, but when I have the opportunity, I do. And today, on a suggestion from a friend, I tried a different church. One, if you guys are local, St. John's down on Mass Ave in Cambridge. And I tell you what, I was really happy that I did because, guys, they got this beautiful choir. It was a really old school type mass. It was reminded me when I was a child, and it was fantastic, guys. Just the music alone from the choir, the readings were fantastic, and I feel connected, right? And it was actually a lot more people, so I think I'm going to continue going there because I talk about this all the time, guys. I'm trying to build my community, and it's a great place to get to know some like-minded people, and they do a lot of community activities. So again, guys, if you're feeling lonely in life, if you need to find ways to step out and increase your community. Your local church is a great way to find good people. And again, there's a mix of people anywhere, but it's a good place to start. That being said, my other thing is, before when I woke up this morning, I'll give you a little background on my day because it was it turned out to be a really good day. I woke up. My friend Doug, who had an ongoing thing with what he thought was an identity theft. Somebody, because he's dealt with that a lot, quite a bit actually, with some of the people that worked for us in the past, had tried to open credit cards and stuff in his name. So as he was unfreezing his credit to do some bank work, they notified him that somebody down in Centerville, which is a part of Barnstable down the Cape, was using his Social Security. So I went to the police station for him here in Somerville the other day. He tried to do something down in Florida. He tried to hire a lawyer, but the lawyer's on vacation and was reluctant to do anything. So he called me this morning and said, listen, what's your day looking like? If I asked you to drive to the Cape, would you be willing to? I'll rent you a car so you don't have to put the miles in your truck. And I thought about it and I said, I got no problem with that because he's going to pay me to do it. And I said, you don't need to rent me a car. I love my truck. He's the one that sold me my truck. And I said, I don't mind, what's it, 100, 150 miles? It's nothing. I drive the thing every day. And it's got a brand new drivetrain. I like my truck, and so I went to church. I went to the gym, then I went to the church, and I went and had breakfast, and then I drove down to Barnstable. And at first, I thought he was getting a little out of control, but I'm gonna explain all this in a second. I got down there, and when I walked in the police department, I explained the situation to the officer, and lo and behold, the officer knew the guy that I was down to report. And because he knew the guy, so it didn't sound like he's not a criminal. He's got no record. He's actually somebody that's well respected in town, and he's very well to do, and does a lot of good things. So we went through everything together, and come to find out, when the officer ran the gentleman's information, turns out his Social Security is literally one digit off on one number. Other than that, completely identical to Doug's. So we've come to the conclusion that it was just a simple mistake by the bank, and now it's going to get cleared up tomorrow morning. I got a case number. I filed a civil case with them, so the guy's not going to get arrested or anything like that. But the officer will go directly to the bank that made the mistake, and they will sort it out that way. So now Doug's all happy. He knows nobody's stealing his Social Security number. He's not stressed out. Not he's had bad times with this in the past. I made a great contact with the Barnstable Police. And not only that, but I got paid all day to sit in my truck and listen to podcasts and enjoy the weather and drive down and have lunch in the Cape and had a great time. And, guys, you can, and at any other point, I might have gotten like, oh, Jesus Christ, there goes my Sunday. First of all, I wouldn't have done much today anyway. I would have been just, farting around doing whatever. And instead, I made the most of my day. And that's what I try to do today, guys. I try to do things that make sense, right? And if I'm not going to just sit and relax and lay in bed all day, then I might as well be out making some money. And I might as well be making the easiest money I could possibly make. And I'm starting my week off. I had a very busy day yesterday. It was very productive. Now, here it is, not even Sunday afternoon. It's not late Sunday afternoon. And I'm already, a good chunk of money into the week. And that's beautiful, guys. Like when you look at the positives and when you make good decisions and but again, I still took my time. I let him know I wasn't going to jump in my truck at 8 o'clock this morning. I said I got to go to the gym. I got to go to church, and he was all for that. And now here I am home in time to do my laundry and make myself a nice meal and make my video right on time. And life is great that way, guys. And this happens for me a lot because I've looked at my shortcomings. I realized the way that I used to behave, and I try to find positive ways. And more than anything, guys, I just try to look at the responsibilities that I have or the opportunities that I have, and I try to look at them in a positive light. I try to make good decisions that are good for myself and then also help somebody else along the way. And that way I can lead by example. I can cater to my own needs, and I can pour from a full cup. And I absolutely love the results of the guys. And any one of us can do this. It's really just a matter of being very, very intentional. And that's the biggest difference, guys. In my former life, when I was an active addict, and even, I was an active addict for a long time. But basically, guys, I never did anything intentionally. Everything I did was reactively. And it's unbelievable the difference of the quality of life when you start working from a place of intentionality, as opposed to constantly being in the situation of being reactive to external stimuli and shitstorm situations, and just, never getting to put your own legitimately concerns out there because you're constantly owned by a substance that consumes you 24/7, making sure you got this stupid little baggie and you at the cost of everything else in your life. And not only did I shed the drugs, not only did I put down the addiction, but I've challenged myself to step up and just be the best version of me, to be introspective, to be patient, to be faithful, to be intentional, and just to look at the signs and synchronicities and the opportunities that I'm being presented with every day, and do that which makes the most sense. It's funny, I just got a text. I was pulling in the driveway. My former boss, who just dumps all that shit on me constantly, texted me, "Hey, how you making out?" Implying that I was supposed to spend the weekend fixing his truck that he blew me off 14 times in a row and then dumped in my garage. After I gave him a set of parameters, I told him he could have it towed between 8 and 12 on Friday, and I was available for it. Other than that, I would not be. And first of all, he calls me at 12:30, knowing full well I'm in my AA meeting, so I didn't take that call. And then he texts me at 4 o'clock saying the truck's on the way to my garage. He's lucky I was in Cambridge on my way back from Roxbury. I wouldn't have been there to get it, and I wouldn't have been concerned because I wasn't going to drive like an idiot to get down there. But I did manage to get there. I did manage to get the truck in the garage, and I shut the garage door, and I walked away, and I haven't been back since because I had a full weekend. And I'm not going to waste my time calling him to deal with his nonsense. I will call him tomorrow and say, listen, at some point today I'll get down there and get started on it. I know he doesn't have the money to pay me to do it anyway. I gotta get on and make a parts list, but I'm not gonna and I'm not gonna allow him to stress me out by that. And normally that's what it would be, and that was the problem I'm having with him. I allow him to stress me out, so I just ignored the text and said, you know what, I'm not gonna do it. I know how he operates. He does not respond to any customer calls on Sunday. I'm gonna treat him with the same. I'm not going to let anybody get me out of alignment anymore, because at the end of the day, I've got to take accountability for what happens to me. And the only way I can work is I'm willing to fix the truck for him, but it's not going to happen over the course of a weekend when you blew me off for 14 days getting me the truck. I'm hoping if it goes well, I can get it knocked out tomorrow afternoon. As I think we're only doing the bare minimums and help to bring it back in for the rest of the work, so I don't think you can afford to do it all. So I'll get the 2 ball joints on the brake line that it has to get done. Hopefully I can get that done tomorrow. But if I can't, then that's fine too. I'm not gonna rearrange my schedule. I'm not gonna tailor my life to fit him when he can't be bothered to get me the truck for 2 weeks. So somebody else is willing to do it for him, and now I'm not gonna go out of my way. But at the same time, I'm not trying to punish him. I'm just doing what makes sense for me, and I'm not letting other people's lack of preparation change my day. And I say that because you have to do that, guys. It's not about wielding power, it's about working from a position of power. And I've got the power because what matters to me comes first. And that's true for anybody. If he were to call me up and say, hey, I've got $1,000 bonus for you, I need my truck tomorrow, I'd probably head to the garage right now and spend all night doing it, because there would be value in that for me. But as it is, he's going to balk and try and not pay me what I asked for in the first place, so you don't get preferential service. You can't have it both ways. And I'm not doing it as punishment. Again, I'm doing because I'm doing what makes sense for me. Guys, I live to help other people, right? I like to consider myself a person of service, but again, that doesn't mean you let somebody take advantage of you. That doesn't mean I'm going to let somebody mistake my kindness, my kindness for weakness, and manipulate me any further. I've let him do it too much, just in the fact that I do things I don't want to do to suit him because of his whatever, his indiscretions, his drug abuse. But again, I can no longer let that happen. It almost got me arrested last week, so I have to look at the importance of standing in my power and keeping my needs first, keeping myself safe and healthy, making sure I'm taking care of my regular new contracts, making sure I'm taking care of my business first. And that's exactly what I'm doing. I never told him I would even look in again. He never even told me the truck was coming. So he'll be lucky if I'm not so busy that I get to it tomorrow morning. Hopefully I do, but I don't want to make the video about him either. Guys, Sunday's God's Day. Reflecting on the week, I'm incredibly blessed as usual. My life is progressing in the most beautiful ways in every way, shape, or form. And when I look at the week, I look back and realize that I almost threw it all away on Monday or Tuesday morning when I got pulled over for driving like an idiot at the behest of somebody else, because again, he's more concerned with going and getting high and dumping things on other people's shoulders. And I'm not going to allow that to happen again. That was my warning from the universe to make better decisions, and I've made good decisions since. As a matter of fact, I doubled down on the fact that I've got to drive way more carefully and don't allow myself to get stressed out. Don't be on my phone. Use my hands free, and just make better decisions. And if you continue to make better decisions, your life will continue to get better. I will never be done removing my shortcomings because I'm human, and that's part of the human condition. But the ones that I'm aware of, I intentionally work on immediately. And as a result of that, my life has continued to get better and better. I'm sitting in the best position I've ever been in my life. And I get constant feedback literally on a daily basis of people that see the change that I've made in my life and celebrate those changes. And then there's always a couple of people from my former life that just see on the outskirts and they're jealous and they're not happy about it. And I don't say jealous in the way that I'm better than anybody, but I'm making good decisions today. I'm making proper changes, and my life is accelerating past some of the people that I used to be subordinate to, and not everybody's happy with that, and that's okay. I'm not here to rub it in their face, and I will collaborate in any way possible, and I will offer help wherever possible, but that doesn't mean you're going to manipulate me into allowing you to sit at home getting fucked up all weekend and expect me to go out and work round the clock on the weekend because it's convenient for you, when I don't think you can afford to pay for the job anyway, and it's probably going to end up being a bad deal when he finds out that he's going to pay for that. And I'll let him, take the truck without paying the bill in full, but he's not going to be happy with the price he's going to get, and I don't care about that, guys. As a matter of fact, I'm almost seeing that's got to be the next logical step, because otherwise, if I don't stand up for it now, he's just going to do the same thing over and over again, and I got to make it clear to him that I no longer work for you. I work for myself. I'm not going to do work for you for, an hourly rate that you arbitrarily determined that I used to work for you for. I don't work for you. I now pay $5,000 a month in rent. I now pay for my pickup truck. I now pay for my business license, my business insurance. I pay for my garage. I pay my insurance on my truck. Like, I pay all these bills, and therefore I have to charge more, and I'm still cheaper than you're going to have it done anywhere else. So you got to either appreciate that, or you can take it somewhere else and leave it. The guy literally has done everything opposite. And again, I'm allowing him to run too much space in my head. Guys, these are the things you need to be intentional about, right? And I need to set up better boundaries, and that's what I have done. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing today, because I've had an absolutely fantastic day. I did hit a little bit of traffic come from the Cape, but I immediately stopped and said, hey, I'm getting paid by the hour to do this. There's no need for that. So I didn't get stressed out. I put on a good podcast. And guys wondering what I like to listen to, I was actually doing the Esther and Abraham's and Jerry Hicks podcast library. And I just listened to hours and hours of uplifting ways to better my vibration, to better my life. And then got paid to do it all. So I wasn't stressed out by traffic in any way, shape, or form. I actually had a great ride, had a great day. And it's been a fantastic week, guys. It's shocking how good life can get when you continue. And again, there's always going to be bumps in the road. There's always going to be trials. There's always going to be opportunities to go backwards. But if you pay attention to what you're doing and you continue to put your needs first in the kindest and gentlest manner, again, I go out of my way to help anybody and everybody I can. But I won't let anybody get me out of alignment, because as soon as I do, then I lose everything I've put together and I lose the ability to help other people. and helping other people and building my life is literally what matters most to me at this point, and I'm enjoying the results. I'm very much enjoying starting to see the fruits of the seeds that I've been sowing for 6 months starting to come to harvest, and it's absolutely amazing to me. And now I've got opportunities. I'm literally sitting right now in an opportunity to invest in the next construction project that I've dreamed of for the last almost 10 years, and I'm finally in a position where I can actually do that, and that's amazing to me, right? But this is what happens, and guys, and yeah, and whatever happens, it's going to be good because I'm not making rash, stupid decisions. I'm investing in myself. I'm saving everything I can. I'm doing things in the best manner. I'm doing things to the best of my ability every day, and things continue to get better. Every one of you are capable of it, guys. Do better, want better, get better. It's as simple as that. Guys, Sunday, God's Day. Thank you so much for being here. Always remember, God loves you. I love you. Thank you so much. We'll see you in the next one.